put here. Okay, so now more realistic benchmarking. This is the standard Zend benchmark, which is used to keep track of differences between versions. And as you can see, the JIT performs worst in all cases. But there's a reason. So here we are not performing inlining. Why? Because last week when I did this, there was some regression in LLVM and the inliner crashes, so I had to disable it. So, but I haven't tracked the problem yet. But it was running like 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So there was some regression last week, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is not bad because this includes the time to compile and the time to optimize and the time to execute. So this is not really that bad. Also, I don't have the results for the time just to execute. So I apologize for that, but I don't really have the execution time. Also, I'm not showing here 3 tests, which I deleted them because with the JIT they never terminate. This is a problem somewhere that needs improvement in LLVM because the fetching of a function in JIT, I think it's too slow, and things like the Ackermann test, which is highly recursive, doesn't really play well with our implementation. So I've just chosen to hide that. But yeah, probably next week it will be fixed. Okay, so now the best part, which is like what we would like to do next month or so. So we would like to be able to share code between processes. So a typical PHP setup is like having multiple Apache processes, and we want to share code between the processes. So this will need like some code relocation, and I don't know. This is not that easy, but yeah, we want to eventually do this. Also, we want to be able to compile PHP code to native code offline and create self-executable apps, like normal apps and PHP GTK apps, Cocoa PHP apps, and so on. Although that's not entirely possible, because PHP is so dynamic that not all programs can be compiled offline, because you have like the include function that can receive some arbitrary argument, so you don't know which file will be included until runtime. So we want to do this, but only if the programmer uses only a subset of the dynamic features. Okay, also another crazy idea is to have self-contained web apps for huge websites. So we want to compile like Apache and PHP and the PHP application to LLVM bitcode, and then perform all the link time optimization, and then you have a specialized web server just for your application. So I think huge websites that use PHP like Yahoo and so on will usually benefit from this approach. Okay, and optimization. So there is still there's still a lot of room for improvement for for domain-specific optimizations that we can do. So while the LLVM optimizers are really great, they don't know the PHP language, so they can't do some like function lower, like strings reduction, for example. So they can't do all the optimizations. Okay, so I'm done for today, and I'll accept some questions. Okay, sure.
Notice that when you were doing the comparison between the two, it was actually a call down into the PHP library. Is that correct? So that seems like one of those obvious areas of optimization. Is that correct?
So here?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Zend is smaller.
see, okay, this is the handler from the Zen VM, but we compile this to PHP bitcode. So this gets inlined here. So this is not a problem. So this is the code that we emit, but then the optimizer will take care of that.
You actually are. It doesn't translate into a call into PHP's library. You are actually.
This is all inlined, then yeah.
Native instruction.
Yeah. And with that code removal, the code will be really small because these handlers have a lot of ifs to know if the arguments are constant, if the argument is a number, if the argument is a string, and so on. But here we know the types of the argument. So this code will be really small. So. See.
I was just going to ask if the timings were with the inlining or if they were the timings of this code.
Which one? Okay.
Yeah, these timings, were they just...
These timings are without the inlining,
okay,
because of the, the regression somewhere. But this is also the compilation time and the execution time. So I should have just the run times, but I didn't have time to do that. Okay.
Have you looked at the reasonably large PHP application? I mean, I have talked to Zend, and they said a major improvement they get in their acceleration, Zend acceleration,